Chef John Malik, and today on the Quarantine Kitchen, we're going to bone a chicken. I'm not talking to you, Tom. We're going to bone a chicken and then make chicken stock. How's that sound, chickens? Not from one of these, though. This is a Johnson Creek Farm chicken. It's a local chicken. I got this at Jeremy Webb's Revival Butcher Shop, and they're down in the Pendleton Street District, right past Anchorage Restaurant. The first thing I like to do is I'm going to take off these the chicken wing outer joint, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the end of that joint like so. See how it's bending like that? Okay, and that's where I'm going to cut. Right? So take both of them off like that, in the middle of that joint, right? And this push through. We're going to find the breastbone right here, right? And you can just rub it and you can feel it. And I'm going to put that knife right as close to that bone. It's actually a piece of cartilage. And then I'm going to push in, right? And then you're going to hit the breastbone, and that's okay. And then I'm going to fan it out a little bit, and I'm going to put my finger in there, and as I'm pulling the meat away, right, I'm going to go all the way down just like that. And you see, this is where you're going to rub your knife along the inside of that, and then you're going to get all the way down here, and you're going to get to another bone, a joint. Right, this is where the wing attaches, and I'm going to cut through there. You see that little ball joint right there? That's what I'm cutting through, right? And then I'm going to slide that knife down. You don't need to push too hard with the knife, okay? And now I'm going to put my finger right here. So that joint right there, that's where the thigh attaches to the backbone. I'm going to push out like that. And then I'm going to put the knife in here. I'm going to go inside that bone. And then I'm just going to follow the carcass, just like that. Okay. Now I've got this. I'm going to cut that in half. Breast and wing right here. This is affectionately known as the tender, right? Now typically I would keep this intact. Grill it as is or fry it as is, or if you wanted to something a little bit smaller, you can cut right there. All right, and then if you want to cut this in half, the thigh and leg, again you're going to look for that pivot point, which is right in there, and I usually go from here, go down. Okay, and that is all there is to that. So I'm going to do that again on this side. Put the knife in like so. You see how this breastbone comes all the way up and it's got this kind of keel to it? Right? Knife goes in, you stay along the inside as close to that bone as possible. I'm going to use my fingers to kind of open it up a little bit, keep me out of trouble, and gently sharp, so you're using a sharp, narrow knife, and then you're going to pull away like so. You get underneath that joint, and then push that bone out, and then I can go all the way down while keeping my fingers out of the way. Now, very important, you do not want to do this on a frozen chicken. The reason being is you will quickly lose feeling in your fingertips when you're handling something that cold. And if you lose feeling in your fingertips, it's easier to lose track of where they are, and that's how we end up cutting ourselves when we're doing something like this. Okay? Cut that in half. Cut that like so. Cut this like so, right in there. Sometimes I'll stick my finger in there and you can actually feel it right in there. You can feel where that joint is. Push down. There we go. Okay. Smaller, sharper knife with a thin blade is going to be your friend when you need to do something like this, something flexible. Okay. You don't want to use something big and heavy. I don't like using something big and heavy to do this because I want a thin, flexible blade. And I want that blade to be able to move. Okay? Now, this is what we're going to make our stock from. Okay? We are not going to throw this away. And if you leave too much meat on this, what you're going to do is grab a spoon, shave it off, and that's what we're going to use to make our chicken soup. We're going to put that chicken carcass on there. We're going to put our wingtips on there. And this one didn't have giblets, but if you'd had giblets, like a neck or gizzards and stuff like that, that goes on this roasting pan as well. Now I've got some onion, carrot, and celery. In a professional kitchen, we would call these three mirepoix. And we've got a little bit of garlic. And we've got some parsley, but we're going to hold on to that. That'll be later. And then we're going to put all this on there. Now, I've got nice, neat cuts. If your cuts aren't as neat as mine, it is not a big deal. It's still going to taste just as good. Now, we're going to pop this in the oven, 350 degrees, for about 30 minutes. Into the oven. All right, it's been about 35 minutes. Put this into a pot. Vegetables in. All the juice off the pan. All that yummy stuff in there. Now I'm going to cover it with cold water. Now we don't want to boil this, we want it to simmer. If we boil it, it'll be cloudy and unattractive. So I'm going to turn it up, get it on high for a couple of minutes, and then quickly turn it down. At this point, we could put a few peppercorns in here. We could put a bay leaf. We could put some parsley. The trick is, though, is to not overload it with heavy flavors. Keep it light. Put a bay leaf, not a handful of bay leaves. Put a few peppercorns in there, not a big handful. Put a touch of salt, maybe a splash of white wine, okay? And then when that's done, we'll just strain it off. Then we will have extracted all the flavor out of that chicken carcass, and we will have extracted all the flavor out of the vegetables as well. We're going to hold on to all that. And strain that off. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the skin off. Now all these small pieces I'm going to cut up. Got the stuff that we scraped. Just cut that into small, like bite-sized pieces. Then I'm going to take the chicken thigh and I'll feel that bone and I'm going to cut right around that bone. Again, nice, sharp, thin knife. And I'm going to go up and away from my fingers. Okay, and then I'm going to pull up that way, pull that bone out. Take this little nugget of bone off right there. There we go. Mix that around. Now into a hot saucepan. And we'll put these guys in. Because I kind of like having a few pieces of chicken on the bone in my soup. I know that's kind of crazy. But you don't have to do it like this, you know. The advantage to doing it like this, I've got just about a couple tablespoons of oil in here and a hot skillet. All right, now that our chicken is almost browned up, it's not fully cooked. It's just got some nice color on it. All right. this out. Here we've got some more mirepoix. I was a little bit more careful with these cuts. I've got them nice and small, and a traditional restaurant we might call this medium dice, right? And a little bit of garlic over there as well. And in it goes. And maybe another minute. And now the chicken goes back in. I got some cut potatoes, some red potatoes. Put that in there. And our chicken stock. We want to get those heavier pieces of chicken. They need to cook to 165 degrees. Alright, there we go. We learned how to bone a chicken, we learned how to make a chicken stock, and then we turned that into a simple chicken soup. So thank you very much for watching, and y'all stay safe out there at Greenville.